darkness was still there, still in service to that brutish, feral bloodiness. I didn't understand the deeper meaning of what Fujiko had said until I gained enough breathing space to appreciate the beauty of that contrast. I moved to Shimokitazawa about a year after Dad got mixed up in a love-murder-suicide in a forest in Ibaraki with a woman who had apparently been a distant relative whom neither my mom nor I had known anything about. The woman had approached Dad for advice, and eventually, after they'd become involved, she had lured Dad into meeting with her, drugged his drink, and driven him out into an isolated forest where he died from carbon monoxide poisoning from the charcoal briquettes she'd brought with her. Of course, the woman had died too. The car had been sealed so it was airtight, and there was no reason to suspect any other crime. Although the incident gave the impression of a suicide pact, Dad, for all intents and purposes, had been murdered. I don't want to say a lot about the ins and outs of the sobering scenes that took place, or the practical decisions that had to be made, and all the things that Mom and I had to see and hear because of that. There was so much that was too shocking and too difficult to take in, and I didn't have the chance to make sense of it all. My memory of that time is patchy. Maybe there will never be a time when I'm able to look back on the whole of it. If life is a process of accumulating more and more things you simply can't bring yourself to make peace with, well, my feelings about this are vast and deep enough for an entire lifetime's worth of hang-ups. Mom and I have been oblivious. We said to each other, "There have been a lot of overnight trips and coming home in the morning lately. Do you think he's found someone? I don't think Dad's got the guts to abandon his family. But what shall we do if it comes to that? I guess we just have to carry on as usual. There's no use thinking too deeply about things. He'll probably come back when he's ready." When the police called, we were totally blindsided. We cried, we wailed, we acted out. For a while, we tried everything, anything at all. Sometimes together, sometimes alone, sometimes supporting each other. We blamed ourselves, too, for having accepted Dad's indiscretions as an inevitable part of the music business, and, out of a strange kind of considerateness and somewhat resignedly, having left him to his unfettered lifestyle in the belief that to look too deeply into it would be to risk breaking up the family. Aside from when he was on tour, Dad made it a rule not to spend the night away from home, even if that meant getting back at dawn, and he kept every promise he made to Mom or me, no matter how small, writing them down in his diary or on the back of his hand. Even now, when I think of his hands, I see them in my mind's eye, covered in notes. Dad, who essentially stuck to his promises on anything we asked of him, from, "Could you pick up some milk on your way home?" to, "Let's go out and get dumplings together next week," was a good father first and foremost, even before his professional identity as a musician. So Mom and I had become complacent. And that was why, when he died like that, and even after the funeral, we were still so surprised that it took a long time to really feel that he was gone. Since the woman had died too, there was no justice to be brought, and it all blew over without any resolution, without our feelings having anywhere to go. There had been no point seeking out her family to sue them for damages, since they might even have been related to us in some way, and we hardly wanted to meet them either. And anyway, it seemed that the woman had been put up for adoption soon after she was born, and when she died, it had been a long time since she'd run away from the family that had adopted her, so she effectively had no family. Even this was information that had come to us unbidden, which, truthfully, neither of us even wanted to know. So Mom and I took no action about this. I didn't look closely at her body, but from what I saw in a photograph later, she was chillingly pale and beautiful, and put me in mind of a fox.